Welcome back to another Elden Ring video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get to the Godskin noble and how to take him down. Now you have to be at Volcano Manor. Now from the first step, Volcano Manor is all the way up here in the corner. If you have not been to Volcano Manor yet, then you are not far enough in Elden Ring storyline to get to this point, so it is irrelevant to you. I strongly advise you continue through the Elden Ring storyline before coming here, as there is a list of bosses you can Google in order that you need to fight to get here. Now, from Volcano Manor, from the site of Grace, you're going to immediately hug right down this doorway. Now, this wall you see right here that is visible to me will not be to you. You need to roll into it, which will then, it's a secret wall. So then continue down here. You can feel free to ignore the snails. You basically just want to continue straight. Make sure that you use a torch or your lanterns that you can see clearly as it is quite dark. So just continue. Once you get into the next room, there will be an enemy on your far left, but just go to the right so that you don't have to worry about him and worry about that pain. Hug left and you're at the next site of Grace. Not very hard to get to, just through a simple tunnel, and now you're at the next step towards getting to the Godskin Noble. Now from here you want to go straight out the doors, hug a right, maybe activate that summoning if you want to so that you have a buddy, and basically just follow the path that I take. It's really easy. Follow this, get on the rooftop, just jump down. Once you're off the rooftop, go across this little bridge. There will be an item on that body, and then hug the right, make a little jump, and then go past the little gate here. Then you're going to proceed up the stairs, to which what you see right now on the left is a door that is open. Now for you it will be closed, but we need to open that and I will show you how. First you're going to want to eliminate this guy, and then once you do, or you can skip past him if you like, on the far right is a ladder that you can climb up, which will then allow you to get inside to the next part where you need to be. So once you defeat him or simply skip past him, whichever path you wish to take, go ahead and head up this ladder here, to which there will be a tower on the roof. Well, this little thing right here, whatever you want to consider it. And basically, whether you go around the left or the right side, there's going to be a hole. One of the windows will not be full, and you can jump right on in. Now, you're going to jump into some enemies. I would recommend skipping right past them, as you don't need to defeat them anyways. They're whatever. Continue through the doorway and down the stairs. This guy here will jump on you and do a whole bunch of damage, and same with the rest of them. Just continue down the stairs, jump over them, roll past them. Don't even waste your time fighting, and continue your way down this hallway. Maybe roll past this guy to avoid some damage, and basically once you get here, you're by another site of Grace, which is really close by. It's not that bad. It's just a little confusing in terms of directions in this place, but it's not too bad. Now you're at the next site of Grace here, which is really close to the Godskin Noble. I'm really grateful that they had that there. I went to the Godskin Noble fight and I didn't even know about this site of Grace at first, but once you do, go out the door and continue down this ladder. You will see some of these lava fire snails. Feel free to avoid them, of course. Grab whatever items you see in the area if you want, but you really don't need to. And then just continue this way, skip past the enemies, and then go up to the right. Now, once you do get up here, you're going to be faced with one of those lizard opponents, but do not worry about him. Go into the cage that you see me get into. There is two to choose from. You want to make sure you choose the one on the left, which there may be this marking here for you. Of course, be careful, running by, you might get knocked off, which is unfortunate. It has never happened to me, but I did take a hit there, so make sure you're careful. Now, when you do get up here, you're going to have this guy in your way. Another enemy that you might recognize from the Godskin Apostle Tower if you've been there already, or if not, you're going to understand that this individual hits hard and can take a good bit of damage. But once he is out of the way, or you choose to skip past him, you're then here, which is where the boss fight takes place. Once you do defeat him, you will unlock a site of Grace. But moving forwards, we're going to jump right into the boss fight and then show you the reward you get at the end. And just as a point of reference, prior to this, I will show you where we are. We've only visited 2 sites of Grace since we left the entrance of Volcano Manor, or the main site of Grace, I should say. And this is where you're going to end up in this tight quarter situation where you have to defeat an enemy that is super oppressive in his second phase. The first phase really isn't that bad, as you're able to dodge his sword attacks from a distance. Whether you wish to go about this with a mimic tier or perhaps another summon, it might be good to keep him distracted and keep the heat off you. But this individual definitely lacks when it comes to distant combat, just like me in that glintstone comet shard, because it falls off over a certain distance, which I think is ridiculous. That thing's let me down a good handful of times, but it definitely outputs damage well. Now, you basically just want to keep your distance from this guy, or if you're good at staggering parrying, his attacks are pretty lined up. You have a lot of opportunity to smack that away with your shield and stagger this boy. Now, you want to be careful of one attack that he does. It would be his left trigger attack in your case, which causes him to lunge forward towards you. Oh, and also be careful of his throwables, just like the other Godskin Apostle boss. That guy will do the same thing, so make sure that you have time and don't get greedy and do your hits in between, like right here, you know. I was very lucky to dodge, as I should have taken a hit there, but I find that the Star Shower and the Glintstone Comet Shard give you an opportunity almost for you to dodge. Now, once he's in his second phase, again, try and keep your distance. If you're a strength build, you're really going to have to focus on, you know, parrying and things like that. When it comes to his rolling attack, hide behind a tower, and he should do it for a short duration, which causes you to be able to hide and not take any damage. If he does go into the rolling phase and you're hurt, make sure your vigor is high enough and you use a healing pot, because then you will not die. See the amount of damage he does? It's not a huge chunk of your health, so taking a hit from his rolling attack really isn't that bad. Now, when it comes to this point where he's spamming his sword attacks, just gain distance, because if he uses his left trigger attack in your case, then you're in trouble. And again, try not to greed hits like I do, you know. I was doing my best here to just output as much damage as possible, and here we go. So this individual is down, and now that he is, you get a fantastic weapon which does a lot of damage, and you've unlocked a new Site of Grace. And now the next boss you should be facing is probably Rykard. And after you do activate this next Site of Grace, you want to go ahead and pick up this item here. Now I'm going to showcase some combat involving the weapon that we just received so that you can see how good it really is. It takes down knights, albinorics, whatever the case may be. Of course, strength is a factor in the stats required to equip it, but it is quite a nice weapon for you to use. I would highly recommend that you use it. You know, you can even upgrade it at the round table or wherever, you know, wherever there's an anvil, really. And then you have an OP weapon. If you can get that thing to like plus 10 with your smithing stones, any weapon at plus 10 or higher is crazy. If you have a weapon at plus 20, 25, you have an absolutely lethal weapon, regardless of what it is in a case, because that is absolutely insane, the amount of damage that it will increase if you upgrade it. So I'm going to show you what it looks like in action. So as you can see, I'm able to knock these guys down and leave them vulnerable for a killing blow. This weapon is definitely worth your time, especially if you happen to be somewhat early on, I suppose, and you take on the Godskin Noble immediately the second you can. You've got yourself a nice little weapon. You've probably got one before, but this weapon is versatile against many foes, you know, whether it's this guy, the albinorics, the guards at gatefront, whatever the case may be. I love this weapon's like left trigger ability, causing it to cover distance and also cause your enemies to collapse, leaving them vulnerable for a nice greasy hit. I highly recommend that you take this guy out so you can get his weapon. Now, I find a lot of weapons with their L2 attacks are like, meh, you know, not too great, but this one, you're able to close distance and kill your enemy. Before they're even able to hit you, you can hit them and get right up in their circle before they even have a chance. I highly recommend that you take this boss down, as it is well worth your time. Nobody stands a chance against this thing. You can cover distance long before someone charges up their heavy attack or whatever the case may be. I highly recommend that you upgrade this weapon and check it out, as it is gnarly. Well worth the reward of the struggle of that boss fight. I made it look a lot easier than it is, perhaps, with the mage build. With the strength build, a little bit of a different story, of course, as you cannot maintain your distance as much, but that's what your Ash of War and your summons are for, of course, to make up for the rest you don't have. So I figured I would just showcase a few examples just to show the lethality of this weapon. It is definitely worth getting. Thank you for watching this Elden Ring video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for all your support. I appreciate every single one of you, every view, every sub. I am here to grow, and I will see you in the next one. Up next is Rykard, and then some guides as well on Caria Manor, other castles, and even some caves. Thank you. I appreciate you.